Hello, all, and welcome back to another episode of the whole series. It's been a minute, and it feels so great to be back and to be talking with today's guest. Before I introduce today's guest, just a reminder for folks the whole series is a continuing interview series in which we discuss Chicago theater's ecosystem, both in terms of the micro as well as just the larger questions. And we are very, very grateful to be welcoming one of the founder creators of both Theater Evolve and Chicago Artist Atlas. I will let them introduce themselves. But thank you for joining on this like randomly nice Sunday in March.
I'll take it. I'm not mad about it. Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
But who are you?
Yes. Hi, I'm Anna Rachel Troy. I am the artistic director of Theater Evolve. I am a co-founder of Chicago Artist Atlas, and I am a director, designer, and producer here in the city.
Thank you again for joining us. And we're just going to jump right in. So yeah, we started this. I kind of talked a little bit pre this recording starting it. Kind of our goal is to yes and sort of what Mark Larson's doing with Ensemble, right? And talk with different theater artists that we see are the movers and shakers of this storefront ecosystem that we're living in, and that are asking hard questions and are looking at because we love process here at microChicago. And it seems like in the amount of time that I've gotten to know you or just see you on the many grams, because you have two or three, right? uh, when you run a theater company. But you seem very, and I just have a lot of admiration for seeing you and your crew kind of like adamantly look at process, and like it just seems like you have a very wide array in which that you're like reaching out and asking people to come look at process and tinker away at process. So with that, we did get to meet each other. I think it was right before the pandemic. I was understudying for Krugazor.
Oh,
Oh man, what a time.
yeah.
And then COVID happened and things kind of like did their thing to where we are now. Um, Outside of that, I don't think I really like I would see Theater Evolve like on the socials, and I think you were doing and still currently are doing like a single show season.
Yes.
So all of this is just a very, very bad job of me trying to segue into our first question very quickly, or in your own time rather. Tell us a little bit about like how you got to Chicago and what led to first off Theater Evolve, and then um, let that kind of lead us into what inspired Chicago Artist Atlas.
Okay.
I guess three-part question.
Yeah. Okay. I got this. I got this. So I actually grew up in Dubuque, Iowa, which
Okay.
is about three and a half hours east of here or west of here, sorry. And I always knew Chicago was where I was going to go when I graduated college, just because it's a theater mecca and it's close to home. So I'm able to kind of balance both of those things. So, I landed here in Chicago. I actually fell very quickly into film and television when I got here. I spent about my first 3 years here doing wardrobe for Chicago PD and Fire and Med and Shameless and all of that. And thought I was going to move to LA, and went and took like a week trip out to LA with a friend who lived there. And like the plane touched down, and I just remember immediately going, oh no, it's not, no, I have to go back.
It's not
And
for everyone.
yeah, and like and I've been in love with the city ever since I got here. I'm in love with the culture, I'm in love with the community. But yes, how Evolve started, I'll vague book it a little bit, but I was involved in a very bad production with a very bad person,
Mm.
and left that production knowing that this is not what I wanted theater to be.
Yeah.
And it actually started that a friend of mine and I wanted to just do a production of Twelfth Night. We're like, let's just make a nice show. And
Yeah.
we started talking to all of these artists, being like, hey, we're thinking about doing this thing. Would you want to be involved? Da 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 da. And we kept hearing the same thing over and over again, which is like, I can't get my foot in the door. I can't get seen at auditions. People aren't posting their designer calls. People are having private auditions. People are casting their ensemble. Um, and that is where Theater Evolve grew from. So we work with 50% new artists with every show that we do, whether that's artists that are new to us, new to the city, or new to the craft. We make sure that we're providing a foothold for people to get a start here and then say, look, I have a Chicago credit on my resume, and they kind of launch from there. So we're
Yeah.
launching point. Uh,
Yeah.
and kind of the same thing that sparked Atlas is throughout all of these conversations with new artists. Hearing again, I don't know where to find this information. The information that's on the site is so outdated. These things aren't being updated. There's no central hub for everything, which is where Chicago Artist Atlas was born. Uh,
Hmm.
and Atlas is made to be a hub for all the information that you need: tools, resources, audition boards. We're hoping to do searchable profiles. So you can say, hey, I'm an actor who plays trombone, or I'm a designer who has, puppetry experience. And then if you're a theater company looking for that, you can go, hey, I'm looking for, an actor in their 40s who plays trombone. And all of these actors will pop up for you. And
Yeah.
artists. Yeah.
It's kind of streamlines, or at least it creates more access for both producers and creators to like kind of speed up the process. I guess it sounds.
Yeah, and just to make everything easier. Like, I don't think it should take a new artist here in the city, 6, 7 years before they can break into the industry.
Right. Yeah.
That's so much of like what I was told when I moved here is it's going to take you years to break in, and you have to do all this stuff to break in, and you have to pay all this money for all these classes and yada yada yada. Um and I just don't think that that needs to be how we operate.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time and a place, like in the evolution of the art form, I suppose, and we have learned better ways.
I think we have, and the idea that like you need to like pay to play feels icky. And like I say that though, and I will say I'm very honest about this, that eventually Chicago Artist Atlas will operate on a subscription model. Uh,
Hmm.
that being said, like we're talking like $5.99 a month, uh,
Right.
a very affordable subscription model, to support the people who are running Chicago Artist Atlas and to support the institutions. And I have lots of ideas for where I want money to go with Atlas, like a grant.
We love grants. We
Yeah,
love ideas.
right. I would love for us to be able to do some theater grants and some artist grants here in the city, to just keep feeding into our ecosystem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got to. Because it seems like it's not it's not the trickle down economics that they say it is.
It's not. And like, I think if everybody operated with more of a mindset of abundance,
Yeah.
the Chicago theater community would thrive. When one theater does well and people go and see that show and they're like, wow, this art is fantastic, they're going to go and see more theater. They're going
Hmm.
to see more theater. So one theater's success is all theater success.
Truly.
Truly. And I feel like that is not the way that a lot of institutions operate.
Yeah. Well, so tell me a little bit about then, like your institution, your group, like what kind of is that process for you following that process of, we all have kind of that really like not great experience that will lead to these beautiful things. What was, getting into doing 12th night, and then what was sort of the next step from there in terms of like where do you remember looking back and seeing the wheel starting to turn, like, oh yeah, that's our model, that's what we're going to do?
Yeah. I mean, I knew when we established ourselves as a 501(c)(3) that we were going to do 50% new artists.
Yeah.
How we came to what new means to us came through a lot of trial and error and figuring things out. But like one of the things is like we do postmortems on every single show that we do. We do postmortems on our educational series. And we take a lot of the feedback that we get from our artists and we implement it immediately. And it's not us just going, well, so and so maybe just had a bad time. Like we take that very seriously. When we did Krugazar, we got a lot of feedback on our understudy process and
Mhm.
how we were implementing understudies, which is still a process that we're growing and shifting in. But like, I think you have to be able to step back and take yourself out of the equation.
Mhm.
So, okay, I can see how this process did not run smoothly. And, if you put ego into it, there's an ambulance going by. Don't know if you can hear it.
No.
Oh God. I live, oh, I shouldn't say that. I live nowhere. Um, but I think if you take yourself out of the process, you allow yourself to look at everybody else's perspective. And like I don't think we've hit it yet. I think we're still growing and changing. And I think if you run an institution that's not growing and changing, you're doing yourself a disservice. Uh,
Mm.
you should constantly be relooking at what is my process? How are we running things? How are we doing stuff? What worked this time? Great, let's leave that. What didn't work? Let's change that. And know that, okay, maybe this worked last time. Maybe we'll re-implement it, but it might not work again with these people in this situation. And we
Mhm.
have to learn to pivot from that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered any of your question, but that's
No, it did. It's very, I mean, it seems to me like you all are very much tending a very organic process. And you're not putting yourself in like if you're putting down like your fence for this particular moment, and then it seems like you're picking it up and you're like, okay, let's see what the next thing is asking for, as opposed to, it seems like a lot of theater is like, we're going to do this, and I don't know how it's going to happen or how much it's going to cost, but it's going to look like this, and it has to look like this. And that doesn't necessarily have to be the case.
Oh, no. Yeah. I would say, I mean, first and foremost, I think every show that we as Evolve have done has been so vastly different.
It's evolved.
It has evolved. It has evolved. But we've done Shakespeare, we've done new works, we've done plays with music in them. And every process takes a different approach. And it
Yeah.
has to, you know. And artists are growing, the industry is growing. If you are still relying on stuff that you learned from the industry 10, 15 years ago, you're doing yourself a disservice.
It's like a time capsule, kind of.
And things are changing and moving rapidly, and it's not like everything needs to be ripped up from the ground. I mean, I think budgets are budgets, and you know rehearsal schedules are rehearsal schedules, and we figure that out. But like, yeah, I just think, ask yourself, what if
Ask, I love that. I'm going to quote that. Ask yourself, what
well,
if?
we have a core pillar in Evolve that is, we call it fuck yeah. I hope I can curse this.
Yeah,
But
please. It's highly encouraged.
oh, right. But fuck yeah is a core pillar of Evolve, and it really means like fuck yeah, let's try it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's see what happens. I love this idea. Let's see what comes from that. And
Yeah.
like, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but at least we tried and we learned something from it, and we can
Mhm.
take that information into the next thing that we do.
Yeah. Making bold choices.
Trying.
So it seems to me a very bold choice then to be like working as a theater ensemble that is organically changing here and there over time, and then to take the next step as sort of an arts hub, or atlas, if you will. So I guess kind of riffing off that previous question, what was sort of the moment that you were like, I think I want to make this thing. I want to take the next step or take another step and make this thing. And then what can the average theater Joe or Jane or whatever the open version of that is, Jay, what could they uh, anticipate if they were to just sit at their computer, Google Chicago Artist Atlas, and then go to the website?
Yeah. Honestly, again, I think Atlas was really born out of a lot of these conversations that I was having with artists. Um, I can't find opportunities. I can't see this stuff. Also, some of the theater websites that currently exist are just incredibly outdated, and hard to navigate, hard to utilize to the best of your ability, um,
Mm,
and take so much time. And I feel like so many artists spend so much time trying to learn the business of being in theater and
hmm
how to crack the code, that they're not focused on their art. And we're doing a whole disservice to artists by not allowing them to focus on their art and giving them the tools. Like, there's like this thing where you come to the city and people are like, gotta figure it out. What if they just had the toolkit when they got here?
Yeah.
How much better would our art be? Because you don't have to go, 3, 4 years, whatever, trying to work your way up to this plateau where then you're burnt out and you're tired and you don't want to do it anymore just as you're about to break in.
hmm
I think uh, we're missing out on so many incredible artists who just don't want to play the game.
Yeah. It's just like, can I just do the thing that I want to do?
I just do the thing that I want to do. And like, I feel like it's such an old school mindset of like, no, you got to pave your way. You got to work your way to it. You have to put your blood, sweat, and tears in before you can make it. And I'm like, but what if you just didn't have to do that? Like,
Right.
what if it's a big community?
It's a
Just
big tent. Everyone's invited.
I mean, yes, everyone's invited. Everyone's invited. And no matter where you're at. And I think one of the things behind Chicago Artist Atlas too is this larger movement that's happening in this country of kids not going to college anymore and not
hmm
coming with a degree and coming into this city with literally no knowledge of the industry. And it's like, how can we get you guys up to this basis, without having to shell out tens of thousands of dollars to get a BFA?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we're doing good stuff. I hope we are. But yes, I encourage everybody to sign up for the website. We have a pretty accurate. I'm going through, we go through every 6 months and do a kind of haul, as you say, um, of the theater directory. So we update it kind of every 6 months.
Mm.
It's searchable by type of play and season right now. So if you're looking for musicals, straight plays, classical, avant-garde, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, Eventually, we're going to have it that you can search too by like theaters that focus on Black stories, theaters that focus on LGBTQIA stories, theaters that are women focused, those kind of subsections.
Yeah.
Mm. We have a huge resource database right now for um, we have broken it down into identity-based resources. So resources for BIPOC, LGBTQ, women, artists with disabilities. We have resources for production, so costuming, lights, set, sound, etc.
Yeah.
Resources for the business of theater, where to get your headshots, where are classes in the city, who's offering what. Um, Coming soon will be theater resources, so resources for theaters
Mm,
and, how to find grants, how to do a budget, how to get all this stuff, Um, so huge resource hub. We have a searchable audition board, and you can save your auditions straight to your profile. So you don't have to like go back through and try to re-find it. You can track all of your auditions and say, like, these are the ones I submitted to. Here's where I got called back to. Yes, I got cast in this one. So you can look back on your year and say, this is everything I applied to.
yeah.
Um, we're eventually working on a space finder.
Oh, so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have a huge database of space information that we're going to get up shortly. And then your profiles will be searchable. So that is a feature that we're still building out, but should be out, within the year. But so theaters can come on and say, hey, I'm looking for, a director. I'm looking for a lighting designer of color. I'm looking for an actor who does puppetry or can do this accent. And these people will pop up for them so that there's no more, I can't find anybody who plays the trumpet. There's a list.
Chicago. Come on.
I know, right? For all those trumpet playing shows that we do. Um, but yeah, go create a profile, um, sign up. You get to fill out all your information, your skills and talents, shows that you've done, your resume. That will all be eventually like searchable onto a little like profile that'll pop up and a little theater can click on it. They can find your website from it, all of that.
Oh, thank you for doing the good work.
Trying. I mean, I will say this has been 5 years in the making.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
and all good things take time.
yeah, they really do. And I should also say and highlight, I have a crazy, wonderful web developer,
Yeah.
Catherine Evans, who has been hand coding this entire website.
Oh, wow. That's old school stuff. They don't teach that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm talking like we're not using Squarespace or Wix or anything like that. Like this is a fully customized site that she has built and coded from top to bottom. And like she is doing the job of like 20 developers in one, which is why we're a slow and steady process at this point.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, loving the work and hoping that we can keep expanding it.
Me too. Ugh, fantastic. Well, I appreciate the audio tour. For anyone who's interested, feel free to listen to this as you browse their website, which we will also include links of. We're very excited to share a little bit about you guys as well as the website in the comments when we share this. So. Um, All right, now we move on to our microbite section of the afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. As something we love to do is just ask some rapid fire lightning questions. You have not looked at these at all, and I wrote a bunch of them in a very messy
I
pre.
can't wait. I'm ready.
Oh, and I hope it's
Oh,
legible. But here we go. Just ask a question, pop the answer off, and then we'll go ahead and have a nice little soft goodbye.
okay.
So, without further ado, our first question: what is one of your earliest positive Chicago theater experiences?
Ooh, okay. It was a mixed bag. But my first show here in the city was not great. In terms of it was just not a great show.
Yeah,
But I did this Shakespeare in the Park with a company that's no longer around. In like 2013, maybe. And honestly had the best of times because I met so many people that I'm still friends with to this day,
yeah,
good friends with to this day.
yeah.
So we had a great experience.
Love it. Oh, it's amazing. I'd be curious, like, if you just did like an open like surveys, like, okay, have you done a Shakespeare show? Ha Are you still involved with all of the people or most of the people from that show? It's gonna be, I think, a consistent yes.
Yeah, like it's wild.
I've asked a couple of questions epiphany wise, like when like a turning over moment. But if you can indulge me one more time, what was one creative or even personal epiphany moment for you?
Ooh, um, honestly, it was probably it was more recent actually. But we did an adaptation of Medea, Medea, Medea. Um,
Yeah,
and the actors who were involved in that show, um, I don't even know if it's necessarily an epiphany, but I feel like it reaffirmed the work that I'm doing here in the city, which
yeah,
is all of them came up afterwards and was just like, this is one of the best, safest experiences that I've had. And like, you took a chance on me. The amount of actors that I've said that have come up to me and said, you've taken a chance on me, and have been some of the most brilliant people that I've ever worked with, just melts my heart. And I'm like, just- I'm, s- it makes me so glad for the work that I do here in the city when I have people who just say, like, this was such a good experience. I learned so much. And I was able to take on a role that I probably wouldn't be offered somewhere else.
yeah.
And that is always the thing, you know. When I go into a casting room, I had a great friend of mine who gave me this advice, and I take it in every time that I go in, which is if you have two people who are down, for a role, and they're both equally talented, always ask yourself, who wouldn't get this role outside of this room?
Mm,
Always the person I cast.
yeah,
And that always feels really magical.
yeah. Oh, that is yes, yes, and because we are currently working our way through the L, I have to ask, what's your favorite spot on the L? Or do you have like a track or a train that you really enjoy?
Oh man, okay. Well, I'm gonna be really, really honest, and this is gonna lose me so many Chicago points, which is that I drive a lot.
Ah, okay. That's great.
I drive a ton, but I do really love taking the L down to like the Harold Washington Library or the Chicago Cultural Center downtown. Um,
Yeah.
is always a blast. Or like honestly, like I'm a big Brown Line fan.
It's got the prettiest views, honestly.
Yes. Like I'm a big Brown Line girl. I also live off the Brown Line,
Yeah.
so
It's it's one of the few trains that I've gone all the way around on.
interesting.
And
Okay.
just for fun, because why not?
Okay.
What is your favorite, or perhaps another way, the least annoying road for you to drive on?
Are we talking rush hour or not rush hour?
Both.
Okay, if we're talking not rush hour, I love Lakeshore Drive, obviously.
Ah,
Lakeshore is probably my favorite road. If I can take Lakeshore, I will take Lakeshore at any time and point.
yeah.
Um, I would say my least favorite road in rush hour is Ashland. It's awful.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking.
It's awful. And there's always construction on it. Always. Doesn't matter what time of year it is, there is always some form of construction happening on Ashland.
It's one of the few constants in the universe.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite neighborhoods?
Um, well, I love North Center, which is where I live. I love Ravenswood, which is where I live. But I'm also a big fan of like the Hermosa neighborhood and like Pilsen, and that area is great. I love the West Loop. I drive
Yeah.
like a lot for my job. I teach baby yoga in the mornings right now. Yeah, I teach yoga and like self-regulation to toddlers. It's
That's
fantastic. It makes my day every day. Um, but I travel around a lot to like the South Loop, the West Loop, Gold Coast, all of that. I also really love Old Town.
yeah. Yeah. There's something about those old places.
Yeah, I love when the buildings still have like Chicago character to them and
Yeah.
they're not all the new modern like high rises or like flats buildings that are being put up everywhere.
Yeah. Just glass.
Mhm.
Because because we are both pretty avid practitioners of a dying art, and given recent comments from one Chalamet, what's your favorite dying art that is not theater?
Ooh,
Lesser known, like crafty thing.
I might actually say it's puppetry.
Mm-hmm.
I love like the Chicago International Puppet Festival that comes in is, I mean, you want to see some of the coolest art you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Go go to the Puppet Festival. It's unreal. And like I think like the ways that people can do it between like shadow puppetry and real puppetry and like the storytelling aspects and like oh, but followed by that would be opera.
Yeah, I mean, uh, Pavarotti.
Pavarotti. Oh my God. I mean, and I went to Oklahoma City University, which has a huge opera program.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, that's where oh my gosh, Kelly O'Hara went
Kelly.
and Krista Chenoweth, who both graduated from OCU. And we just had like a fantastic opera program that really instilled like a love of the art and the work that goes into opera. People
Yeah,
do not talk about the amount of training and stamina that's needed for opera.
yeah. I mean, it's a sport.
It is. It is 100% a sport. And like the breath control alone. But I also am a big believer in fantastical storytelling and theater that is theatrical.
Yeah,
That's a big movement of Evolve is we do shows that are theatrical.
yeah,
They are not your kitchen sink dramas.
yeah,
Have an element of magic to them.
yeah. Death of a Salesman, but opera.
But opera.
We'll just we'll leave that.
Mhm.
What was the last? Well, this is kind of cheating, I think. So not the show that you're currently casting, but what was the last script or piece of text that you were working on, reading, or writing?
I actually just closed Clue at the Beverly Theater Guild down
Yeah,
in Beverly with Morgan Park. I directed Clue down there and it was so fun, so fantastic. Um, and like honestly, though, like don't dig too deep into that script because if you dig too deep, there's so many plot holes and so much stuff that you're like, okay, we're just gonna hope that the audience doesn't pick up on the fact that this script makes zero sense.
yeah. You farce it. You just like 100 miles per hour.
Yeah,
Don't
we
let
just slapsticked it and farced it, and we were like, if the audience is focusing on that, we're doing something wrong.
it. The playwrights are just like, you know, it's done. We'll let them figure it out.
I mean, like truly, there are things in that script where I'm like, I I don't think you realize that you've written this in like the wrong order.
It's like a void check kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, what was the last thing that you watched?
Theater wise,
Theatrical or television?
I just saw Hedda Gabler at Theater Wit, but with Remy Bumpo,
Oh, you
directed
saw.
by Marty Lyons, who is my idol. I hope she doesn't watch this because that'd be so embarrassing. But I'm obsessed with everything Marty Lyons touches. And her, again, like her theatrical style is utterly brilliant. Um, and I thought Hedda was fantastic.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You saw my friend Felipe's Loveborg, and I feel very similarly the
Yeah.
way you described Marty.
Yeah. Like huge fan.
So good. Let's see. Part of your process. That's all that I wrote for that question. So, I don't know what that question is. What's a part of your process? I don't what
Okay.
tease that
I can answer this.
out.
I can answer this off of part of your process. Uh, this this is the most hippy dippy part of my process. So I do all the work. Like I do a pre-production analysis where I go through the script and I write everything down and whatnot. And then this sounds so insane. I wait.
Yeah.
I take all of the knowledge of the play and I wait. And usually, eventually, something like I will watch a ballet, I will see a piece of art, I will hear a piece of music, I will experience something, and I go, that's what this play is about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do all the analytical work and then I set it all aside for a while and I wait for inspiration to strike, which sounds absolutely insane, but it happens every time. Something dawns and it goes, oh, that's what this play is about.
Yeah. Ugh,
Yeah.
well, you need that time.
Yeah, I think you do. You need the time to marinate, but like I also come in to a process having an idea of the story I want to tell. But like one of the biggest things that I always tell my actors is I will never know a character as well as you know a character. That's not my job. My job is for us to tell an arcing story where we're all in the same play.
Hmm.
But your job is to know your character and for you to come in with ideas about who your character is and what they want and what they're doing. And then together as an ensemble, we create the world that we're moving in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Yeah.
Chicago theater is blank.
Chicago theater is vast.
Mm.
Uh, I think that there's so much here in so many different arenas, so many different types of storytelling. I mean, again, we have the lyric opera, we have the Joffrey Ballet, we have the neo-futurists, we have, so much improv, we have Second City, we have so many amazing storefront theaters that tell just incredible work. And then obviously our larger institutions, which do great stuff as well. But like, I think the nitty gritty of the storefront is where you see really bold, imaginative work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. And what is something you're looking forward to this spring?
Mm. Um, Something I'm looking forward to this spring. Well, obviously, I think I have to say it's Native Gardens. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna start we're gonna start rehearsals for Native Gardens, which is being directed by Moises Diaz, a company member at Theater Evolve, um, which is so exciting, and we're very happy for him to have this opportunity, and to be able to tell this story now feels very important. And it's very sad that we picked this story out a year ago. Um,
Yeah.
and part of me is like, did we make this happen?
Oh no.
No. Like, it's wild that we ended up in this space politically that we're
Yeah.
in. And so I'm very proud and happy that we're giving the Latino community a space to be able to center their voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when will that run again? That you were just starting the callback process, right?
Yes, we have callbacks that happen next weekend. So we have callbacks that happen next weekend, and then Native Gardens runs June 26th through July 18th at the Den, which I'm very excited about. And then this spring, we also launch into 10 years of Theater Evolve. And
Wow. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
yeah,
Happy
which is great.
decade.
Yeah, happy decade, and we have some crazy cool things happening with Evolve, and we're hoping to get Atlas um kind of fully launched this year. So we'll,
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. Heck yeah. Well, amidst the many things, thank you for again just sharing, roughly an hour of a Sunday with us to chat, a little bit about yourself, about Theater Evolve and the Chicago Artists Atlas. We're super stoked to just continue to see the work that you all do, and we hope that you come back and join us, uh, chat a little bit more about the craft and the ecosystem. Where else can people see you and what you're doing?
Um, what I'm doing next, so I will be directing 2027 with Evolve, but I can't tell you what yet.
Yeah.
And I teach a monthly practicum series for directors here in the city.
Great.
It's always at the flight deck, usually like the third or fourth Saturday of the month. But practicum is a 3 hour workshop. Directors get a 5 minute scene. They get 25 minutes to direct in front of the group, and then they receive feedback. So it's not to create performance ready pieces, it is to talk about the process.
Great.
And how are you talking to actors? How are you delivering your notes? What worked? What didn't work? How is this blocking effective, not effective? How are we telling story? Uh,
Yeah.
so everybody should go sign up for practicum. We have one on the 28th of March. And it's like $15 to come play for an afternoon, and actors get to meet upcoming directors. Directors get to meet actors who they can call in, and it's just a great time to network and ask questions and try things out.
Yeah. Celebrate some community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit again about yours, and we're stoked to get this rolled out and share Theater Evolve with some more folks and the Chicago Artists Atlas. And I really love to end these with just we hope that you and everyone who joins us comes back and continues to join us in playing in the infinite space of small.
Gladly come back anytime. Thank you so much for having me and chatting about what I'm doing here in the city.
Hell yeah. Well,
Mm.
we appreciate you again sharing your time, and go see Native Gardens this spring summer. Thanks again, Anna.
Of course. Thank you.